shipping. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 888-974-9745. That number to call, 888-974-9745.
You've been listening to The Brain Health Show. This program is a paid advertisement for Prevagen, sponsored by Quincy Bioscience. The statements made in today's program have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Talk 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
AM 1470, WNN, with more of what you need to know. Don't miss A Touch of Gray, Saturday afternoons at 1 on South Florida's Health and Wealth Network, AM 1470, WNN.
Folks, I'm sitting here chatting with my good friend Dan Alba. He is a public adjuster with InsureClaim. Dan, you were telling me that there may be homeowners out there who have already settled their homeowner's insurance claim but still may be owed additional money.
Steve, that's absolutely correct. In my experience, 9 out of 10 of my clients are owed additional money. That's why I offer a free claims review. I will go over your claim and let you know how much more money you may be owed.
Sounds like a win-win situation. Nothing to lose. Take advantage of that free review of your claim. Call Dan toll-free at 1-888-256-2963. That's toll-free, 1-888-256-2963, or online at isaclaims.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470, WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Shub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
And welcome to the Golf and Travel Show. I am your host, Dan Shub, and tonight, like we always do at this time, we're going to have some fun talking some golf and talking some travel. And we do have a good show tonight, like we typically do, and a great guest that in a couple of minutes we'll be chatting with, and that would be Zach Holzapfel. And he's the co-founder of a company that you might have heard of. It's called Mission Belts. And Mission Belts, they were on Shark Tank, and won actually on Shark Tank a while back. And a lot has happened since then. It's a pretty interesting and exciting story, and definitely looking forward to hearing about that from Zach. And, of course, we're also going to have your golf tip of the week in just a few minutes. And I do have a bunch of travel deals and some interesting places to go, interesting things to see. It's going to be quite a show tonight. You don't want to miss it. Also, if it sounds like myself and my co-host Jess are talking with a mouthful, we might be, because I just happened to have with me some things that were in my bag that I had forgotten to take it out. One is some almond brittle that we're eating that was from Reynolds Plantation from my recent trip there, and it's quite delicious, I have to say, so excuse me. Also, we have some samples in here that we're preparing for next week's show, and a company by the name of Crispy Green provided some crispy fruit, which is, it seems to be chips. I haven't opened them yet, but they've got apple and cantaloupe and banana and pineapple, mango. And next week we're going to be talking to the national sales director from Crispy Green and find out a little bit about it. It all came about because they sent me some information, and they were trying to talk about what it's like to have a banana out there on the golf course that you're saving for the turn, especially here in Florida where the weather is a little bit warm, and it's not the kind of thing that you really want to eat. So we got to try it out because that's what we do here. We can't recommend anything to our listeners that we can't prove to ourselves is a wonderful product. Similar with the Mission Belts. I'm actually wearing one right now. I tried to take a selfie, and it just didn't look right, so that's why you can't see it. But missionbelt.com. if you want to get a sneak peek and find out a little bit more about it. But what I typically do right around this time is I introduce everybody to my co-host, who is none other than Jess Frank, a PGA teaching professional and the owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club right here in Boca Raton. And Jess specializes in on-course instruction with V1 video analysis. He believes every lesson and swing is different. Jess likes to focus on the scoring part of your game, those short shots taught right there on the golf course, and that instills plenty of confidence. Some of you may know him from his work at area country clubs such as St. Andrews, Boca Lago, and Broken Sound. Jess loves to teach and has a passion for the game. Golf can be challenging, I can attest to that, but Jess makes it easy for you to learn and excel. And how are you doing tonight, Jess?
I am excellent, Dan. Good evening to you. Good evening to all of our wonderful listeners out there. And had a wonderful week and just finished up my spring break junior golf camp
did they
this
teach
morning.
You anything?
Yeah, they actually showed me a lot. I was, I think I won best camper, and it was
not most improved camper.
No, I didn't. I was, maybe I was most improved, or but I think I got greatest sportsmanship award and
patience, most patient,
and I was at Boca Dunes for the week and. Had 5 little guys.
Wait, I don't understand. You go away to camp, and it's the same place that you go to all the time, all year long. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, well, you know what? I have to make it convenient for myself.
Oh, okay.
So I created my own camp at Boca Dunes that I could go to, Camp Jess, that I could be, and I kind of created it for myself. And it was a lot of fun, and had 5 little guys with me for the week, and. Learned a lot and had some fun and gave away some prizes.
For some reason, I just
stuff.
had a picture out on the golf course. You know, when you're by the water and there are the ducks and they're all walking in a row. I had a vision of you with all your little campers following you in line.
Pretty much, that's what it was. And there were ducks out there, actually. But, it was fun. We did a lot of putting, a lot of chipping, got out on the course, had my buddy's kids came over and did a little demonstration because they were both like top-ranked juniors in the area, so it was kind of fun there. The Harris
Give
boys,
these kids a little something to strive for.
Yeah,
huh?
Frankie and Henry Harris. The kids loved it too because all these kids are kind of beginner golfers and never played before.
How old were they?
From kindergarten, so they were 5 years old to 10 years old.
I am so envious of these kids starting young.
It was a great and it was neat because you saw the improvement over the week and. It was fun.
Did you tell them in a couple of years they're going to have to work really hard for the rest of their life and have no time to play golf? Or you didn't break that to them yet?
No. I was actually trying to encourage them to, go the route of the PGA Tour, but, they were...
What we all dreamt of and didn't quite get to.
Exactly. But, it's just something...
They still have a chance. We don't.
Well, it's just like anything. It's like baseball or basketball or football or tennis or soccer, just the 0.001%, 0.0001% actually make it and play.
Yeah, but even if you play on your high school team or your college team or whatever, it's still a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And you make friends for life. And all these kids became friends over the week.
Right. And the worst thing is you don't play for any team, but you're good at it because you started at a young age and you play your whole life and you use it for business.
Right.
I mean, if that's the worst thing that could happen, that's pretty good.
It's interesting too because I'm also down at Edwin Watts and I met this kid who's a really good player, plays for Notre Dame, and great golf swing, and he's like he's going to go into investment banking and he's going to use golf as a tool to work, to use for his work. And so I mean, it really, it's such an advantage to start when you're young and kind of work your way up because. In golf, I mean, you're really there's really a relatively, if you play it somewhat correctly, there's no injuries. So and so you can play it for as long as you want, and it's just really a lot of fun. And you can use it for business, and you can use it for networking, and you can get to know people over that time period because there's no other place that you can spend one-on-one with somebody. Or a couple people and spend that much time with them and get to know them at a personal level. And that's what it's all about, relationship marketing. And when people do that more often, it just advances their career, advances their life, and they make friends. And, there's guys that I know that I grew up playing golf with. And so that was, gosh, I'm dating myself now, but 30 years ago.
You were 2 at the time.
Yeah, too. I wish, but yeah. So it's a great tool for fun, for business, for family, camaraderie, and just meeting people from all the walks of life. So I was
I
very
can
fortunate.
honestly say that at least one job in my career I got because of golf.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the rest of what I bring to the table at least got me to the top of the list. But
Right.
there were other people I was still competing with, one or two other people.
Sure.
And this particular company, they wanted to establish a charity tournament annually.
Okay.
And they really didn't have anybody who had the time or the expertise at the moment to do it.
Right.
And, obviously that was my only job. That was
Yeah.
just one part of it. But because I had experience in golf and the golf business and in tournaments and whatnot, I actually got the job.
Well, there you go. So that's
Changed
all.
my life.
That's all part of it. But I have friends that have built financial empires on a golf course. Literally, they go into corporate and charity golf tournaments. They'll sponsor a hole, and they'll get everybody's name and phone number because they're meeting all these high-end people at a corporate or charity event, and so they can follow up with these people. Then they go out and play a local golf course here, and they get paired up with two guys, and the next thing they know, they get a $10 million account because of the fact that they went out and they played golf. And so it's out there, business is out there, and when people bond, it really in golf, it's really, people are nutty in golf, and so they like to go to other golfers. They have a lot to talk about, and it's very common ground.
Well,
a lot of common
and
ground.
I've said many times that when I play in a tournament, a charity tournament, that especially when it's business related,
Right.
that there's no better day than I could possibly have because, I'm out on a golf course and having a good time with good people.
Right.
And furthering the efforts of my company and forging friendships and doing
Right.
business of some sort with people. And I'm getting paid for the day.
Yeah.
And I'm not paying for the golf. Obviously, when you're out there, you make donations.
Right.
You buy raffle tickets. You do all sorts of stuff. But the event itself is worth so much more than what I spend.
Yeah.
And, I mean, talk about a fun day at work.
People don't realize also it's not only the golf, but it's also before golf when you're like if there's a luncheon or something like that or breakfast and you're talking to people and meeting people and networking and then after the event at the dinner that you're going around you're bidding on auction items, everybody's having fun and if you can just talk to people and just open up and meet people, it's an amazing opportunity because there's like-minded people out there that are philanthropic, that are driven to help people, and so there's a whole different level of people at golf events.
Well, the point that you made is well taken too. Obviously, in my day job when I'm not a radio personality,
Right.
I'm a marketing guy. And people want to do business with people who have similar interests.
Sure.
And golf is a very, very strong bond amongst people.
Oh, yeah.
It's extremely common for people to want to do business with other golfers.
Sure.
And when you meet somebody at an event, especially a charity event, you are so primed to do business. You're in such a better position than people who did not have that advantage.
Exactly, because they know that person who you don't even know that might have business for you. You're making a bond with them even before. It's almost like dating a little bit. You're making a bond with them before you even because you get a relationship with them because you already have common ground. You're already talking about it. You're already in the same arena, and they know that you like golf and you like to help people, and they do too. And so why not? I mean, that's the greatest way to do business.
And there's also a subliminal message that you want to do business with people you can trust. And
Right.
obviously, golf is considered a gentleman's game. It's the only sport where people call penalties on themselves.
Sure.
Excuse me. I'm so upset about that. I must have called a penalty on myself recently. I'm still upset. But
Technical foul.
there you go. But seriously, you feel that you can trust somebody, and obviously, if you're going to enter into a business agreement with somebody, trust is something that often could take a long time to build.
Oh yeah.
And here in
it's
one
instant.
half day.
Right. It's instant. It's instant. So it's really, that's why it's so important, and it's so lucky that these kids' parents have actually taken the opportunity to put them into this situation. And, it's an experience too. So it's a really good way for them to grow up and show a little bit of leadership skills and maturity and so it make a good impression on someone. So it's, it's more than, and being around golfers, you have to be on your best behavior. You have to use common sense, good judgment, character, all that stuff. So it was really kind of a neat week and, a fun time.
So obviously this was spring break.
Yes.
Is this something you're going to do again in the summer?
I am absolutely going to do a summer junior golf camp. I haven't come out with the weeks yet, but I think the last day of school is June 6th for the Palm Beach County schools, and so I will be doing a summer junior golf camp, absolutely. And I nicknamed it the concussion-free sport for your children.
Well, they haven't had me on the golf course at the same time because you never know. But
but it was good, and they learned a lot, and it's just so much more than the golf swing. And like I said, they got the opportunity to meet two of my good friends and watch how just somebody who works at a game can really become a good player and have fun and use it for so many different things.
Well, I guess that's the golf tip for this week.
There you
that
go.
You got to start your kids young and get them some lessons so that they know how to play, and then they're going to go on and have a successful career, right?
That's absolutely 100%.
So your job is done. So start when they're 5 and just wash your hands of it. All done.
Bring them on. I'll take them. 5 years old and up. Please bring them on.
There you go. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back with our guest, Zach Holzapfel of Mission Belts, and it's a fascinating story. You won't want to miss it, so stay tuned. And we are back, and it's time for a quick message from one of our sponsors. Jess, you want to be honest?
Yes, in the home of the Jess Frank Golf Academy, and it's at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club, where I've been spending a lot of time these past months. And it's a great place to play, located in Boca Raton with a par 72 championship course and a par 3 executive course, which is awesome for beginner golfers and something for all skill levels. There's a lighted driving range with practice areas and a snack shop open till 10 p.m. It's a great place to host a charity event or golf outing with a full-service catering facility with all banquet rooms overlooking the golf course. It's a perfect place for weddings, bar mitzvahs, anniversary parties, and any other catered events you may need. If you're looking to get into the game of golf, there are also several teaching pros available for private or group lessons. Their friendly staff invites you to come see for yourself, so call the golf shop at 561-451-1600. That, again, is 561-451-1600, extension 102. For information and tee times, you can also visit their website at bocadunes.com. That's bocadunes.com.
And we are back, and it's a mission, and this is an interesting mission, and it's one you can wear and one you could be a part of, and it's a very, very fascinating story, and some of you heard part of the story, at least if you ever watched Shark Tank. A lot of people I know saw that episode and learned a little bit about Mission Belt Company, and there's a lot more to the story since then. It's a great story. It's a feel-good story, and to find out a little bit more about it, we would like to welcome the co-founder of Mission Belt, Zach Holzapfel. Zach, you with us?
Yes, it's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on, and it's fascinating to me how many people like myself saw that episode on TV of Shark Tank and remember it. I recently heard that I think is the highest rated reality show, which is pretty interesting. And I don't recall how long you were in business prior to that event taking place, but I'm pretty sure a lot has happened since. So why don't you explain just a little bit about what Mission Belt is about and kind of this transformation, what has happened since everybody saw you on TV?
Yeah, I'd love to. First and foremost, we make belts. the pants holder upper. And it's unique in that it has no holes, and it's you can adjust it every quarter inch. Like a traditional belt with holes, you only have there's an inch. So it's either too loose or too tight, and it cracks and it wears. Whereas Mission Belt, we take out the holes and you can adjust it so you're really comfortable. And we make them in a great style, so you're looking good, you're feeling good. And on top of all that, we have a mission associated with our belts. So every belt we sell, $1 goes to a micro-lending institution called Kiva, which is nonprofit, but it lends money out around the world to help people feed themselves, get them started in their farms or their businesses. And that's why it's called Mission Belt.
Well, it's very cool. So let's dig a little deeper into a lot of what you said. So why don't we go back and talk a little bit more about the product? So you have this ratchet system, and you don't have holes that'll stretch and break, and you can adjust it. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about what the product line looks like? You've got a pretty wide product line.
We do. We offer two different sizes, kind of a classic 35 millimeter width, and we also have a 40 millimeter width, which is a little wider, which a lot of people like as well. And we got, just dozens of colors. And we also have some licensed products like NBA and NHL and collegiate. So right now, March Madness, you've got to go out there, get your team and represent. And so it's an expanding line. We've got new stuff coming out in the spring. We got a fall line. We basically got about 2 years of future releases ready. And we just got to, roll them out. And so, yeah, things have really developed, and there's a lot of good options for anybody, golfers specifically. We got a lot of good colors, whites and red and blue and orange, just about anything you want. And so it makes a fashion statement, but also, like I was saying, having no holes, it's going to last longer and look better. A lot of guys, we fluctuate our weight, and so sometimes you're using one hole or another, and it stretches and cracks, and basically advertising to the whole world how fat you used to be or how skinny you were. You know what I mean?
I understand. I mean, obviously I'm there. I'm right there with you, so I know what you're talking about. It's very, very embarrassing. But you're right. I mean, I thought, well, first of all, the belts are all leather, correct?
Yeah, well, genuine leather, but we also add some synthetics to make them last longer and look better. But yeah, it's a leather product. Matter of fact, on the end of the tip, it says, yeah, it's leather, because that's always, something that we're looking for.
Yeah, you guys do have a bit of a sense of humor as well, but I was very impressed that you had so many wonderful colors and bright colors and different colors. I have to say, my son recently graduated from FSU, and I wanted to get him the belt, and I said, yeah, it's a beautiful garnet-colored leather belt. And he said, I don't know if I'm going to wear that, Dad. So I said, well, maybe in black you want it. So, but there's so many options and so many choices that there's something for everybody. So I just thought that was very, very cool. But now let's talk a little bit more about your mission then. You mentioned micro-lending, and I know what you're talking about. I've heard about it before, and I've read about your story and heard about it from your folks who I met up at the PGA Merchandise Show. But not everybody knows what micro-lending is. So can you explain a little bit more about it?
Yeah, micro-lending, it's only been on the radar for, the last decade or so. But the idea is small loans to people that don't have access to traditional sources of capital. Here in the United States, we take it for granted. You can go down to the bank, you can get a loan to start your business and fund your dream. But, outside the world, United States, depending on, where you are, a lot of times you don't have that. You can't go into the bank. You can't develop anything. You're kind of stuck in that poverty cycle. And so what we like to do and what micro loans do is we provide a small loan for a specific business. Ours are directed at agriculture. So they want to buy pigs or they want to buy, fencing or manure to get their business started. And they can grow their business and they repay the loan as they can. And through Kiva, it's like a 98% return. So they repay the loans, 98% of them repay the loans, and then we just lend it out again. It doesn't come back to Mission Belt. So it's kind of a snowball effect. And so when we were on Shark Tank, I think we had like 300 loans out, individual loans. And loans range between $25 and $500. They are micro loans. Mm-hmm. And so we have like 300 people borrowing. And now today, just, 2 years later, we're at over 17,000 unique individual loans. So 17,000 families have got loans from Mission Belt and our customers. And a lot of them are making their dream come true and putting food on the table.
Can you share one of the good stories about one of your loans that has helped somebody start a business somewhere around the world?
Yeah, there are so many, but one of our first ones that really made us interested in microlending was a personal one. We had a buddy down in Panama that is a friend of ours. He was working on the docks. He broke his arm, and the docks, they just let him go. No benefits, no nothing. So they said, thanks for your service. Good luck with your arm. And so we're like, that can't stand. Let's do something so you can have your own business and make your own destiny, because he's a friend of ours. And so we put our heads together, and we came up with an idea that they needed down in Panama, which was more transportation. He lives in a community outside of Panama City, and there's these long lines for the buses. Not everybody can get in. And so we said, let's buy a bus. And so we did. We got on eBay, bought a bus in Panama City, Florida, right? And we shipped it to Panama City, Panama. And one bus grew into 3 buses. And so now he's working for himself, providing a service, and, he's not going to get fired, and the business is growing, the economy is growing, and so that small loan that we did with just, a single bus grew into something fantastic. And that really turned us on to these small loans that give people the opportunity to start their business, feed their families, and live their dream.
Very cool.
It is cool. And the fact that 98% gets paid back is pretty remarkable. I bet the banks can't boast that kind of a rate.
You said it, man. These are responsible people, hardworking people. The only thing they need is an opportunity and a chance, and that's what Mission Belt. That's what we want to do, and we see our clients, the buyers, as partners in this mission, and we're seeing the change, and we hope it lasts.
What's it like to work with Damon from Shark Tank?
Damon is awesome. They're all sharks, right? Supposedly, but that's a misnomer. He's a fantastic guy, and he's an inspiration, a mentor. He was here at the office just about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And he's phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about Damon.
That's cool.
Now, can you obviously, based on the amount of loans that you've given out, you've come a long way, but can you try and put in perspective a little bit about where you were before Shark Tank and where you were or where you are today after Shark Tank?
Yeah, before Shark Tank, so we were in business only for 3 months when we filmed Shark Tank. And so we've done just under $40,000 worth of business, which isn't terrible for 4 months or anything, but after the airing of Shark Tank, we did $1 million in sales within 2.5 weeks, and so just massive. And ever since then, we've been on this growth trajectory, and we doubled from where we were last Christmas. So year to year, we doubled even after Shark Tank. So Shark Tank was a great medium because talking about the belt doesn't really give it do it justice. Seeing it though on TV like you did on Shark Tank, it's a demo, and you say, oh, that's great. It's a better mousetrap, right? And it sparked that interest. And so it was a perfect medium for us to really launch into a bigger world.
Now, to get on Shark Tank, I know there's a PR firm up the block from where we're sitting right now that specializes in producing videos that need to be sent, like for an audition or whatnot. Was it that difficult, and what was it, or how did that all come about for you?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. So my brother's the one who actually presented on Shark Tank. I'm a little camera shy. I've got a face for radio, so this is a perfect medium for me. But so somebody that we knew said, oh, you guys should put this on Shark Tank. And at the time, we didn't know what it was because I think it was only in the 2nd or 3rd season. And so we said, oh, yeah, that sounds like good. And so my brother, we just, on an iPhone cam, recorded him pitching the belt. And he's a character and a salesman. And we mailed it in ourselves. And they loved it, and so for us, it wasn't a insurmountable,
not a big production
or anything like that. But yeah, I understand now. I think that year though too, there was tens of thousands of applicants, and so the fact that we stood out was, the stars aligned really. So, and now I understand there's 40,000 applicants.
Wow. Well, obviously, based on the kind of success you potentially can have, obviously not everybody succeeds there or don't have the right product, but you guys did. Now, for anybody who's listening, if they would like to get a hold of one of these beautiful belts, a Mission Belt, obviously, I think I had mentioned I wanted to talk to you now to kind of kick off the Father's Day season because it's not that far ahead and people are always asking me for suggestions, and I think that this is a perfect opportunity for somebody who, has everything. Chances are they don't have a belt like this. So where would they find it? Can they get it locally? Is it best to just shop online on your website?
We're in over 1,200 retail locations and growing now, but missionbelt.com, you're going to find Father's Day specific gifts, 3-packs or even individual gift boxes at missionbelt.com, and you can't go wrong. Like you said, the guy